Spring is here, and with the equinox I got the opportunity I was waiting for to make my elemental weapon of air, the ritual knife. I've already made videos on the ritual disc and on the ritual cup, and now here is the ritual knife. There's just the ritual wand, which will be made at the summer solstice on the first day of summer. So this was made on the first day of spring, spring being of the element of air, traditionally anyway. I decided that a nice thing to write on here would be the Orphic hymn to Hermes. So I've never written Greek, of course, so I just went ahead and just copied this out line by line, the best I could. I think I've done a reasonable job, bearing in mind that this really is my first time attempting to write with the Greek script. If any of you actually know Greek, hopefully you'll be able to point out where I've made terrible mistakes here. But it's quite a beautiful hymn. Maybe I can read you what it actually says here. Here we go. Hear me, Hermes, herald of Zeus and son of Maia, having an almighty heart, the lord of contests and guide of mortals, kind and clever messenger of the gods and slayer of Argos. With your winged feet you are a friend to humans, and you are a prophet of the word to mortals. The word actually being the Logos, of course. You delight in exercise, in deceit and trickery, and you wear the sacred band. Interpreter of all, you preside over the profits of business, driving off all our cares, you who hold in your hands the blameless weapon of peace. Blessed God of Korikos, bringer of good luck with many stories, helper in business and friend to mortals in need, you possess the venerable and dreadful weapon of language. Hear me in my prayers and bring a noble end to life in deeds and graceful remembrances of reputation. So I thought that was very nice, and given that Hermes, or Mercury, is the main Greek god of air and of everything that the alchemical element of air represents, so thought and information and, well, the Logos, I thought that was very appropriate to have that on the knife. On the other side, I've got alchemical symbols of air all the way along the knife there, as you can see. Yeah, there we are. I chose this knife because of its nice, thick, or rather wide blade, and I knew that I'd be able to inscribe plenty of things on it. It's quite large. The Golden Dawn recommend that you take something quite small. The shorter it is, the better. Of course, in the Golden Dawn, it's used for pointing in the various directions and for doing the pentagram and so on and so forth. I may or may not be using this for actually performing the pentagram. I've been performing the LBRP without a knife just fine for many years, so I guess I'll continue, but it will be nice to have a ritual elemental weapon of air to go on the altar as I'm performing that. This is an interesting passage that I thought I'd share with you before I tell you what those various symbols on the other side of the dagger is. Let there be no confusion between the magical sword and the air dagger. The magical sword is under Geburah and is for strength and defense. The air dagger is for air, for Val, or of Yod-He, Vav-He, or Vav-He, and is to be used with the three other elemental implements. They belong to different planes, and any substitution of one for the other is harmful. So just a couple of pages earlier, so this is the Golden Dawn version of the knife. Of course, in Golden Dawn, the knife is associated with air, so in Golden Dawn that's yellow, and it's the Archangel Raphael. As you may know from my previous videos, I have substituted Raphael's element and Michael's element. So I now have air in the south and I have fire in the east. I'll leave links in the description down below if you're interested in why I've made that substitution. I've made a few videos on the topic. But yeah, so the dagger is supposed to have a yellow hilt. I also don't agree with that. I have the element of air as being colorless, with yellow to red going to fire, and then green to blue going to water. And yeah, so air being colorless, so the metal, right, and earth being brown. But this is the magical sword, and the magical sword, as was written earlier, which I read to you, is quite a different matter. And I suppose this really is what would be used for describing magical circles on the floor and so on and so forth. So quite a different implement from this, the air knife. What do I have on this other side, on the flip side of the blade? I've got, this is the cuneiform for Enlil. Enlil is one of the three main Mesopotamian gods, Enlil being the one of air, naturally. Over here we've got Thoth, for probably obvious reasons. Thoth is the Egyptian god of speech and writing and learning and science and many of the things that Hermes is known for, and they are very often substituted one for the other, although the book on Flesh and Feather suggests that that may be an oversimplification. I'm curious about that concept, but in the meantime, I rather liked the idea of having Thoth and Hermes, this being the Greek rendition of Hermes, or Hermes. I like the idea of having those both sitting side by side. And as I was just saying to you, for me, Michael stands in the south with air holding the sword, right? Michael holds, I know he's traditionally holding a flaming sword, but nevertheless for me, the fact that he's holding a sword is the indication of air rather than of fire. And so this is Michael's sigil right there. It's quite a pretty sigil. And then there is his name with the Hebrew alphabet, M, E, K, L, and then three symbols of Mercury. There we are. So there we go, that's a brief tour of my elemental weapon of air, and the next one of these will be the elemental weapon of fire, the wand, which will happen around the time of the summer solstice. Thanks ever so much everyone for watching. As always, thanks especially to all of my members, and in particular to my level 3 members, the Magister Venerabilis members. And this week they are H. Happy, SMQAI, Michael Dunn, Will C, Alessio Di Gino, Vaone, Judy Hounson, Youssef Saber, Frater Demianus, L. Harper, Connor Smith, Times Sovereign, B, Replicator 44, Aristarchus, Tara Nicholson, Ricardo Colomé, Nia the Earner, Ra Skill YO, Oscodle in Tin, Amanda Mayer, Ferion 1, Justin Lloyd, Rahul Nair, King Rainbow, Eleonora F, Jorge Salas, Luis Mancilia, Ian Smith, Osvaldo Gonzalez Nunez, Fernando Martin del Campo, Robert Mahoney, Alvin A, Jason, Frater VPF, VX, Frater D Lane, A Million Ways to Wipe, Alexander Carval, Sheridan, Brandon Wilkinson, Andrew Kudlak, Mateusz Sadowski, Chase Lawrence, Mrs. C.Y., Medusa of Chaos, Seidr, Matu, Mystic Imagination, Merrily Duffy, Meta Gordy, Damnatio Memoriae, Sun Cat, Ted Kaiser, J. Joseph Safi, Kyle Walker, Raluch Ashron, Charbon, Patrick, Arcantum by Mr. Fribourg, The Jade Ghost, Timothy Owens, and Zed Daniel Barnett. Thank you so much again for watching, and see you soon with another video. Bye bye.